Today we talk about the top 10 DC Comics characters. Who's it gonna be? Let's see what we've got. Hello beautiful geeks, how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Today we bring you the top 10 DC comic book characters. Now, keep in mind that this is a generalized list. It will include some heroes, it will include some villains as well. And we have Professor Bill from Comic Book University who has decided to help us out for this one. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. What a better way to start this list than with a god. And we're talking, of course, about Darkseid, my man over here with the rocky face. Don't let him fool you. He is a strong moo-moo. If you guys want to know more about Darkseid, please follow the YouTube cards that I will link to this video so you guys can watch a comic book quickie. And it's actually my first video that I ever did on YouTube, my Darkseid comic book quickie. Darkseid, created by writer and artist Jack Kirby, who he also gets mentioned in that comic book quickie. First appearance was actually in a cameo in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134. That is back in December of 1970. He wouldn't go around to have his full full appearance until Forever People number 1 in February of 1971. So a little after that, December, January, February, a couple months, so that's not that bad. This guy is one of those characters who will get you and kill you. The famous Omega Beans, they catch you, you are out. Just ask Batman. This man can go up against Superman, take punches straight from Superman, and other biggies from the DC universe because he is just that powerful. Darkseid, don't mess with him.
Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I'm here to tell you that number 9 is me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's actually the Green Arrow, right? It's the Green Arrow. Guys, the Green Arrow actually started off in More Fun Comics, issue number 73. That's in November of 1941. Now, he's famous for two things. One is Stephen Amell. Two is his boxing glove arrow. I mean, seriously, boxing glove arrow? That's the exact opposite of Stephen Amell. You have Stephen Amell and boxing glove arrow. Literally, like, you'd walk into the Hall of Justice gift shop and you'd be like, "Oh, hey, look, Gary! Oh, wow, look, it's the boxing glove arrow. Should we buy it?" You'll take a selfie next to it, but you're not going to buy it because you only got $30 and you ain't wasting on that shit. But the point is that we have the Green Arrow at number 9. Now, a lot of people want to argue that he's just a ripoff of Robin Hood, and in many ways you'd be right, but in many ways, think about it. He's in the public domain. I'm talking about Robin Hood. Anybody could have used him. DC could have snatched him up and said, Robin Hood, there you go, bang. But they didn't. Why? Because they had a better idea. Better than Robin Hood? Kind of. You could build off of something to make it better. And that's what Green Arrow is. Fantastic origin story, and he's got two main ones. But we like the island one better because, you know, Stephen Amell. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Lewis, back to you.
Dr. Jonathan Crane will put some of his fear gas on you, and you will see your worst fear. In my case, it will be little flying crickets and stuff. I don't like crickets. Don't judge me. His first appearance was in World's Finest Comics number 3. That is back in September of 1941. He was created by Bob Kane and Bill Fingers, the same creators who gave us the Dark Knight himself, Batman. Now, Dr. Jonathan Crane is one of those characters who you never underestimate, especially since he has been given a yellow ring of fear. And all of this happens in the events of Blackest Night. For those of you guys who have not read Blackest Night, trust me, you should. It is worth it. It's a fantastic read, and I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, making it to our list simply because he is one of those characters that will put Batman on his toes, will make him think till the very end, and if you don't catch him on time, he'll spread his fear gas, and then that's it. The main protagonist of the game, Batman Arkham Knight, not protagonist, but the main antagonist, you will know exactly what I'm talking about if you've played that game. Check him out, read about him, you'll love him.
Guys, next up we have Mr. Arthur Curry himself, Aquaman. That's right. He swims in the sea, but he doesn't live in a pineapple under the sea. That stuff just doesn't fly. Guys, so much to do with Aquaman. Issue number 73 of More Fun Comics, way back in November of 1941. This guy's golden age. Now, many people say, is he a ripoff of Namor? Namor came first. He came a long time beforehand. Is he a ripoff? And yes, he is a ripoff. But that's not a problem, because he's way cooler than Namor. He was switched out just enough that he's very different from him. Does he talk to fish? Yeah, he kind of does. But who cares? You know what I'm saying? Does he go to fish? It depends, okay? It always depends on the situation, right? And who's writing him and all that good stuff. Doesn't matter. The idea is that he controls sea life. That's cool. He's got regeneration abilities. He's super duper strong. In fact, in the New 52 and in Rebirth, both incarnations, they want to show just how strong he is, so he always winds up laying out Superman just for that little bit of oomph, you know? Arthur Curry. He's got a fan base like you simply would not believe. He's one of the best. He's one of the tops. He's a very fun character. Whether you're reading him, whether you're looking back in an old cartoon where he's riding on the giant seahorse, and I thought, I want a giant seahorse. When I was a little kid, then I realized seahorses were like that big, and it's like, anyways, Aquaman, guys. And you know, I'd like to wear the t-shirt of the person that I'm wearing or something to do with Aquaman, but I literally have nothing on me with Aquaman. Most of my stuff is actually in an old apartment, but the point is, I do have a glass of water. So Aquaman, this to you, buddy.
Before Run Barry Run became so famous due to The Flash, we had already seen, well, Barry Allen in action. And of course, we're talking about The Flash at number 6, Barry Allen. He's the second character to be known as The Flash. The character first appeared in Showcase number 4. We're talking about October of 1956. Now, he was created by writer Robert Kanigher and penciler Carmine Infantino. Now, he's one of those characters who has died and come back from, well, the death. Which is the case of what happened during Crisis of Infinite Earth, when let's just say he sacrificed himself for something. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, because that is a great read. You guys should catch it if you haven't. That's this one right here, Crisis on Infinite Earth. Give it a read. You will enjoy it. The good news is that he returns years later in the events of Flash Rebirth. Fastest man alive, keeps his suit on a ring because of friction. His suit is anti-friction. He can run faster than Superman. You better catch me saying that right now, because it won't happen again. But he is faster than Superman. So if you guys haven't read about The Flash, or you haven't, by now I think you probably have heard of The Flash. But that's why he comes in number 6, ladies and gentlemen. The Flash, the Scarlet Speedster.
Joker! He's next on our list, guys. The Joker is one of those crazy characters that you never see coming, but he may very well be the last thing that you ever see. Now, the Joker's first appearance was in Batman issue number 1. Not the first Batman issue, no, that was number 27 of Detective Comics. Rather, Batman number 1. He had 2 stories in there, and another story was also the first appearance of Catwoman. So, Joker is just one of those guys that, man, you can't tell a Batman story when the Joker's in it. They're always Joker stories. Every other one of his villains is just a Batman story with a villain in it. That's how important Joker is to the history, to the legacy of Batman. He's really his own thing. Guys, Joker's first origin story was actually in issue number 168 of Detective Comics. Yeah, that was the one where he fell into the vat, he was the Red Hood and all that stuff. Alan Moore didn't invent that stuff in The Killing Joke. He actually just simply took some things away and gave the idea that, no, it wasn't his actual origin story, or was it? We don't know. We never know. And nowadays there's 3 Jokers and who knows what the heck is going on. But the Joker will always be one of those characters that you can't forget, and every Joker story is an amazing story. First brought to life by Cesar Romero in the 60s Batman TV series, and then much later on, most fans, even to this day, will recognize Joker by one of his many cartoon faces, but the voice of Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill himself. Guys, Joker. Next, Lewis.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light. At number 4, we have good old GL Green Lantern. And we're talking about specifically Hal Jordan. This guy right here. Created in 1959 by John Broome and artist Gil Kane. First appeared in Showcase number 22. We're talking about October of 1959 here. Hal Jordan is a reinvention of who used to be Alan Scott. who would be its own character as well later on, but they kind of wanted to revamp the Green Lantern character, so Hal Jordan is like the better version of good old Alan Scott. Now, think about it. You have the will, you can make any construction with this bad boy right here. That is a Green Lantern ring. He makes it to our list because he's simply amazing. He has died also, he has come back, and he has sacrificed himself to power the sun. Thank you. So, you cannot have a DC universe without Green Lantern. I mean, come on. Green Lantern. And if you don't know who Green Lantern is, shame on you. But you should. We have made it to that awesome top 3, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get into it, if you guys have liked this video so far, don't forget to like and to subscribe. Make sure you turn on that little bell so that you guys can get notifications when I upload new things. If you guys have liked seeing Professor Bill from Comic Book University, please check out his channel. I will put it in the card description right here as well. Go check him out. He does also a lot of comic book explanations. He does character biographies. He does 1-minute superhero explanations where you can learn something about a superhero in, well, 60 seconds or about a minute. So check him out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to his channel and show him some love. Tell him Lewis sent you.
Hey guys, next up is, yes, it's Wonder Woman. Guys, All-Star Comics, issue number 8 was her first appearance. It was half of her origin story. The other half was over in Sensation Comics. She was immediately one of the best, most beloved characters that you could possibly make. Guys, when Wonder Woman came out, there weren't too many women in comics, and I'm talking about female characters even. William Marston kind of changed that forever. He was one of the originators of the lie detector test. He was a psychologist. He was a professional extraordinaire, and he made Wonder Woman and really lit the world on fire. No matter what her origin story, made from clay, not made from clay, born of a love affair with Zeus, it doesn't matter. She was one of the best of the Amazons. She proved to be the best, hands down, of her sisters. Moved over to America and just the world at large, the world of men as it's called, and she just kicked some serious butt, taught people love, and sometimes, you know, pulling out a sword and shield and beating the crap out of people. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. The point is, amazing character, beloved everywhere. Guys, back to you, Lewis.
Oh yeah. Who do you think it is? At number 2, we have the Bat himself, Bruce Wayne, the Dark Knight, millionaire, or is it billionaire, by day, and crime fighter during night. Of course, we're talking about Batman. Now, think about it. He is one of those characters who has surpassed all the hardships that life had given him, being orphaned since he was just a little boy, and then raised by Alfred Pennyworth, who, by the way, almost made it to this list, but it was really hard to put so many characters into one list. This was a really hard list to do, and I know some of you guys are like, what? Batman number 2? Forget about you, Geek Fortress. I'm out, Lewis. I am boycotting you from every social media. Trust me, it was not easy, but you'll see when you see number 1 that we're kind of right. But anyways, first appeared in Detective Comics number 27 all the way back in 1939. Yeah, he's an oldie. Originally named the Batman. Batman. But later on being changed. Also created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, same as Scarecrow. Batman has surpassed the test of time and we still have him today. Why would Justice League without What would the Justice League be without Batman? And why would Batman be without the Justice League? Well, hopefully he won't scramble his words like I do. I don't think he would. He's a suave mofo. But we have Batman, and Batman has us. He's been entertaining us for years, and we've had him in many, many media. And for that, we thank you, Mr. Bob Kane. As per usual, here are some honorable mentions. A good old number 1.
Deadpool!
Now,
It's Green Lantern.
No.
It's Deathstroke.
Professor?
All right. It's really Superman. I mean, come on, it's Lewis's channel. How could it not be? In fact, that's the only reason why he even wanted me on this particular episode, because he didn't want to be the one to break the news that it was Superman. I mean, and for real, guys, how could Superman not be number one? I mean, he's the ultimate immigrant story, and America is the country, the land of immigrants. I mean, not just the creators of Superman, but almost all of the comic book characters in almost every single genre, realm, field, whatever, has always been an immigrant story, and nobody personifies it best as the man who, as a child, a baby, was sent down from his destroyed planet, a place where he couldn't go anymore. He could never go back, ever.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Personifying hope more than anything else. And guys, I will never understood why Blackest Night didn't give him the lantern ring of hope, because really? I mean, Barry Allen, good second or third choice, but it's Superman. He is hope. But he is Clark Kent. He is ace journalist, reporter, in love with Lois Lane, and now has a really cool son and a story, and he's got Crypto, the dog, and just look, when push comes to shove, he really is easily the number one character in DC Comics, probably the number one character in all comics. Every character in some way, shape, or form is some kind of a representation of him. And even if you say, no, it's a representation of Superman or Batman, Batman came from two sources. One was the Phantom. The other one, they said, listen, we need a character who's like Superman. Can you do that for us? Bob Kane and Bill Finger said yes. Superman, one of the personifications of the American dream.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Sorry I've been away so long. I won't let you down again.
All right, Lewis, I turn the channel back to your capable hands.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. You guys are awesome. Do not forget to stay awesome, and please, let's give a round of applause or a big thank you to Professor Bill from Comic Book University.
Yeah. You just send $100 you promised me.
What? Stay awesome and geek on, guys. Love you, Professor Bill.
I'm not actually getting paid, am I?